People are the most valued assets of any organization because they individually and collectively contribute to achieve organizational objectives. But in a time of rapid change, how do organizations plan and make strategic human resources choices that will propel organization towards its goals? Welcome to the session of HR Revolution, which is known as Strategic Human Resource Management. Before heading into the concepts of strategic human resource management, let us try to understand the basic meaning of the word strategy. Now, strategy is derived from the Greek word strategos, meaning commander in chief. The strategos can be divided with two words, stratus, that is known as army, and ego, that means to lead. So the word strategy is adapted from the military administration. In the military, most often strategy refers to deployment of army. That means maneuvering of army into position before the enemy is actually engaged. In business, we can substitute resources for army. Business people deploy resources, that is human resources of various types to achieve objectives. So strategy is a long-term planning to denote a specific pattern of decisions. There are two fundamental concepts in strategy. They are, first, strategy is always forward-looking. Second, strategy is always about fitment with external environment. So, a strategy is considered as a long-term plan, that is always forward-looking, which relates the strategic advantages of an organization to the challenges of the environment, that is about the fitment with the external environment. So, strategy includes the determination of long-standing purposes of the organization. Many authors have defined strategy in various ways, and here I have taken two definitions preferably. One is from Johnson and Scholes, who defined strategy in 1993 as a direction and scope of an organization over the long term which matches its resources to its changing environment and in particular its markets, customers and clients to meet stakeholder expectations. And from Oxford Dictionary, strategy means it is a plan of action designed to achieve long-term decision. So from the definition, we can understand that strategy is at the heart of business. All businesses have competition, and it is strategy that allows one business to rise above the others to become successful. Even if they have a great idea for a business, or any person who have a great idea for a business, and if they have a great product, and they are unlikely to go anywhere without strategy. Moving on to the concept strategic management process. Now, strategic management process has been divided into four stages or four phases. The phase 1 is environmental scanning, phase 2 is strategy formulation, phase 3 is strategy implementation, and the final stage or phase 4 is strategy evaluation. Phase 1, environmental scanning. Environmental scanning refers to a process of collecting, scrutinizing, and providing information for strategic purposes in the organization. So it helps in performing a situational analysis of the internal and external factors influencing an organization by using a SWOT analysis. After executing the environmental analysis process, management should evaluate it on a continuous basis and strive it to improve it in order to achieve the objectives of the organization. Phase 2 is strategy formulation. Strategy formulation is the development of long-range plans for the effective management of environmental opportunities and threats in light of corporate strengths and weaknesses. So it includes defining the corporate mission, specifying achievable objectives, developing strategies, and setting up a policy guidelines. Under phase 3, it is strategy implementation. This consists of implementing strategies, monitor the implementations, and revise the strategies regularly. So the strategy implementation function consists of seeing what it will take to make the strategy work in the organization and to reach the targeted performance on the particular schedules. Hence, strategy implementation is considered as a process by which strategies and policies are put into action through the development of programs, budgets, and procedures. Strategy evaluation is the final step of strategy management process. So the key strategy evaluation activities are appraising the internal and external factors, measuring the performance, and taking remedial or corrective actions. So in this process of evaluation, it makes sure that the organizational strategy as well as its implementation meets the organizational objectives and goals. Now let us figure it out the various levels of strategies. So a business firm should consider three types of strategies which form a hierarchy as shown in the picture. The first one is corporate strategy, business strategy, and the final is functional strategy. The first level of strategy in the business world is corporate strategy. At a most basic level, corporate strategy will outline exactly what businesses are going to engage in and how they can plan to enter and win in those markets. So corporate strategy is defined by those at the very top management of organization, which includes the managing directors and executive boards, which are known as corporate levels of managers. So this is a top layer of strategic planning and is often associated with exploring and determining the vision of the company in the form of a vision statement. Developing a mission statement of the company that should include statement of methodology for achieving the objectives, purposes, and the philosophy of the organization adequately reflected in the vision statement. Also, corporate strategy describes a company's overall direction towards growth by managing business and product line. So these includes stability, growth, and retrenchment. For example, Coca-Cola Inc. has followed the growth strategy by acquisition. It has acquired local bottling units to emerge as a market leader. So corporate level strategy occupies the highest level of strategic decision making and covers actions dealing with the objective of the firm, acquisition and allocation of resources. The next level is business level strategy, which is applicable in those organizations which have different businesses and each business is treated as strategic business unit or SBU. Usually it occurs at business unit or product level, emphasizing the improvement of competitive position of a firm's products or service in an industry or market segment served by that business unit. Since each product or market segment has a distinct environment, a strategic business unit is created for each market segment. For example, Reliance Industries Limited operates in textile fabrics, telecom, and a variety of petrochemical products. For each product group, the nature of market in terms of customers, competition, and marketing channels differs. So, business strategy is a kind of strategy which is concerned with succeeding in chosen markets, focuses on competitive positioning, that is, where to compete and how in order to create an advantage over competitors, and it is always a responsibility of business level managers to create a business strategies. So the most popular approach in HR strategy is the business strategy, which mainly focuses on the Porter's classifications of the three generic business strategies, that is cost, leadership, differentiation, and focus. For example, Apple Computers uses the differentiation competitive strategy that emphasizes innovative product with creative design. Functional level strategy is also known as market level strategy, which refers to a strategy that acts as the day-to-day strategy that is going to keep organization moving in the right direction. Just as some businesses fail to plan from a top level perspective, other businesses fail to plan at this particular functional level, which is also considered as a bottom level. So this level of strategy is perhaps the most important of all. Therefore, it is responsibility of heads of major functional activities within a business unit or divisions to have a cordial relationship between business units and various departments of organizations like R&D, manufacturing, marketing department, finance, and other HR departments. Also, operating strategy is a part of functional strategy and they act as a part of an organization delivering effectively the corporate business and functional level strategies in terms of resources, processes, and people. They are at departmental level and set periodic short-term targets for accomplishments. So it is a responsibility of plant managers, geographic unit managers, and lower level supervisors to coordinate with functional department heads to achieve the organizational objectives. Hence, the functional strategy is the approach taken by a functional area to achieve corporate and business unit objectives and strategies by maximizing the resource productivity. It is concerned with developing and nurturing a distinctive competence to provide the firm with a competitive advantage. In order to successfully utilize and manage the human resource of an organization to achieve organizational objectives, each organization needs to develop a well-defined HR strategy. As Chandler defined strategy as a determination of long-term goals and objectives of an organization and allocation of resources necessary for carrying out these goals. Like strategy, HR strategy is concerned with two key elements. First, determining the strategic objectives. For example, the goals may be high productivity, reduce accidents to provide welfare benefits to the employees in the organization. It is to determine the specific strategic objective on how to achieve these set goals in the organization through human resource. Second, developing a plan of action. The organization will develop a strategic plan for human resources to see that how and when can a work get allocated by utilizing human resources to accomplish the objectives of the organization. So, human resource strategy therefore involves the planned and effective use of human resources by an organization to help it to gain or maintain an edge over its competitors. Reaching ultimate business goals requires leadership. The significant role of human resources in an organization has become strategic in nature. So, strategic human resource management encompasses the traditional human resource functions of recruiting, selecting, training and developments, performance appraisals, compensations to the employees, and also it works with the overall organizational strategy to achieve the success. Therefore, strategic human resource management or SHRM is concerned with the relationship between human resource management and strategic management in an organization. Components of SHRM. The various definitions implies the following four components of SHRM. Human resources or people. Focuses on an organization's human resources as the primary source of competitive advantage of any organization. The activities highlight the HR programs, policies, and practices as a means through which the people of the organization can deploy to gain competitive advantage. Pattern and plans imply that there is a fit between HR strategy and the organization's business strategy, which is known as a vertical fit, and between all of the activities is known as horizontal fit. And finally, people, practices, and planned pattern are purposeful, that is directed towards the achievement of the goals of the organization. Hence, SHRM is concerned with people issues and practices that affect or are affected by the strategic plan of the organization. HRM in knowledge economy. The knowledge economy refers to those jobs, organizations, and industries in which the skills, knowledge, and capabilities of people are determined as the competitive advantage rather than the capabilities of machines and technology. There are several components which covers under the concept of knowledge economy. Let's find out those. The first one, human capital or human assets or human resources. Of all the resources available to an organization, human resources are considered as the most important for attaining the objectives of the organization. Hence, employees are now variously referred to as human capital or human assets or human resources. Second, the capital or the wealth. The term capital refers to wealth, money, or property. Capital is used to generate more wealth for an organization. When employees are referred to as human capital, it is implied that they are the resources that generate more wealth. And the final is the collective skills and knowledge of the total workforce. Human capital refers to as collective skills and knowledge of the total workforce of an organization that holds an economic value for the organization. So the emphasis on human resources has become all the more important as there is marked movement towards a knowledge based economy and organizations. Now let's try to understand how an organization will take decisions on investment towards human resources. So there are four main points in which organization invest on human resource, and they are management values, extent to which on how management value their human resource act as a critical factor. So the management values towards human resources or their people determines an organization's willingness to invest on human asset. Attitude towards risk. Investment in human asset or human resources is considered as the most risky for an organization than investing in physical assets. So an organization can gain employee ownership through various strategies, reducing the possibility of employee turnover or losing their investment in human asset. Nature or skill. When an organization needs employees who have skills that are highly marketable and who can move from one employer to another, then investment in human assets involve more risk. And the last one is availability of outsourcing. When specialists are available outside the organization who may be more efficient than the internal employee resources, the internal human investment is likely to be limited. So these are the major part where the management or the organization will think twice, thrice on the investment perspectives of human resources in the organization. Now, the objectives of strategic human resource management is confined with the two major objectives, that is, to ensure the availability of a skilled, committed, and highly motivated workforce in the organization to achieve a sustained competitive advantage. and to provide direction to the organization so that both the business needs of the organization and the individual and collective needs of its workforce are met. So these objectives are achieved by developing and implementing HR practices when those are strategically aligned. The role of strategic human resource management in strategic change in the organization. The primary goal of change management is to successfully implement new processes, products, and business strategies while minimizing the adverse outcomes. Strategic human resource management and strategic change are tightly interconnected to each other. Changes in policies, process, products, markets, culture, or mission depend on the human resources on many levels. So, new approaches often require new ways of thinking about compensation and rewards. For instance, a shift to a more dynamic style of doing business might demand the implementation of at-risk pay. New technology requires training programs. Top management needs to think about cultural issues, impacts on employee morale, how layoffs will affect the culture and morale, and similar problems. So change is constantly happening in every organization, but most organizations lack robust organizational capabilities around the change. Yes, there might be some change experts on the team or there might be some tools lying around, but to build a truly strategic change capability, HR leaders need to be thinking about how they will create a change platform that combines traditional change management and program management. So, a change platform not only has a model for change and some tools, but also has a mechanism for training leaders and practitioners, temporary structures and roles to drive the change, project timelines and risk or issues, and means of measuring progress. Barriers to strategic human resource management. HR departments may need to overcome their ideas and discomfort to achieve long term goals. So, strategic human resource management has been trending upward for decades but continues to challenge HR professionals due to the resistance and other forces. First one would be fear of failure. Strategic human resource management is a significant shift for the people in organizations, particularly because of metrics and the need for transparency. Senior level managers may resist taking strategic steps because of a fear of incompetence. Second, lack of commitment or cooperation. A status quo approach from employers is a barrier to change. Unresolved interdepartmental conflicts may make it difficult to adopt a new approach. There may also be leadership conflict over the question of authority. But resource challenges. There may be real or perceived time and there will be a lot of resource limitations. And the last one, outside pressure. The immediate economic and market pressures may prevent the adoption of strategic human resource management. So, the organization may be vulnerable to legislative changes. The resistance may also come from the labor unions. How can the organizations overcome the barriers? So, let's try to find out the major points for the organization to overcome the barriers. First is communication. Effectively communicating the benefits and strong leadership from senior management can remove the fear of failure and lack of commitment and cooperation from the employees. Second is to deal with the resource challenges. Senior management can provide appropriate budgets and reassign the task to make strategic human resource management feasible. And the final one is plan for future. It may not be possible to mitigate outside pressures immediately, but planning can take place to set up for the future. Organization needs to create a detailed strategic human resource management best practices in order to be successful in the market. Following are the points which needs to be considered as the best practices of SHRM in the any of organization. The first practice is to plan. An organization must develop a SWOT and a strategic plan. They need to define the strategic objectives, assess the organization's environment and mission, and need to identify the HR requirements based on the business strategies. Second is to monitor. An organization must put a key metric in place based on the plan and monitor them regularly. They need to compare the existing HR inventory using numbers, characteristics, and practices with the future requirements. Third is to reduce the level of barriers. Organization must ensure the reduce of status distinctions and barriers between the team members. Fourth is providing the training. Organization must see that they provide training to improve the retentions, train the team members extensively by using latest technology for personalized learning and capitalizing on onboarding aspects. Use of technology. The organization must leverage the appropriate software and technology to manage a proper strategic planning. Then as to communication. Organization must share planning, financial aspects, and performance informations to all the levels of management in the organization. The last one is innovate. An organization must continuously improve and invent new processes. So these points helps to provide a framework for an organization to follow the actions on refining the process by adapting the strategic human resource management practices. Let's conclude the concept by analyzing the future of strategic human resource management. The first is that strategic change is occurring more often and in more areas simultaneously. HR executives and practitioners need to think about how they lead when there are numerous simultaneous changes. The second is that organizations are adopting more agile ways of working for great opportunities. It means that HR leaders and practitioners think differently about the speed at which they design and implement strategic human resource management programs. As economy will be a competitive place and customer service and interpersonal skills training will be in demand, back in the early days of the internet, many of us thought that technology would reduce the need for interpersonal and other management skills. The reverse is true. As technology becomes ever more sophisticated, the need for technologically adept, highly motivated workers will become even greater. Managers will need to grapple with discontinuity and change, and HR will continue to play increasingly a sophisticated role. So, here we end the session. Hope the session was useful. Thank you.